Welcome back, my dear students. So on this lecture here, we are going to finally connect to a local database in development, all right, for a Laravel installation. I want to show you how to play around a little bit with Postgres just because that's exactly what we need in order for us to go and launch an application with a database installed in Heroku. All right, so some of you are very familiar with MySQL and PHP admin and how we can, create databases and table. In Postgres, it's a little bit different, but basically the same concept, right? You create a database and you migrate it with Laravel. Okay, cool. Now, I want you to keep something in mind though. Remember that one of the requirements for this course was installed Homestead. All right, so make sure you have this tool installed, all right? Because if not, things are just gonna become a lot harder. Right now, we are going to be dealing with Postgres. And by default, Homestead already has it installed. All right, so if you remember, I opened my Laravel installation in this code folder here. Now, this is connected to my Homestead environment, all right? So it's synced from there. So everything that I need, it's already here. You see that everything, Postgres is here. If I want to use my MariaDB, if I want to use Git, everything is within this environment here, which is pretty cool. So, all right, let's get started. Now, just because I have Postgres already installed on Homestead, I can go ahead and download a GUI tool, meaning like a PHP admin type of tool that we can see the database. Now, we don't really actually need this, but it just makes things a lot easier, right? You can see the database, you can see the data there instead of going to the command line. If you prefer the command line, you can just download Postgres app. Let me just come here. Well, this one is for Mac, all right? It's just gonna give you like a little tool that you can just log into your Postgres terminal command line, and you can create a database from there like we do with the terminal on MySQL, all right? So it's just basically the same thing, but with Postgres, okay? This is for Mac users. I don't know if they made it for Windows already. It says that it's only for Mac, all right? So you're welcome to install Postgres on Windows if you like. That would be probably another course. Maybe check me out. Maybe I already have that course, all right? And you can just go and log into your Postgres command line and create a database, which is easy, all right? So basically, I'm pretty sure that there are other tools out there for Windows, but anyway, so I'm gonna be using this GUI tool here. If you have Homestead and you're using Windows, this is for Mac OS. So I don't think this is for Windows, but if you're using Windows, I'm pretty sure this guy right here, PG Admin, works for Windows, all right? So if I don't have a course playing around with PG Admin or any other Windows tool, then go ahead and look at the documentation and install one of these tools, all right? So again, this tool is a GUI, all right? It's going to allow us to see the database. So I'm going to go ahead and install it right now. And I'm gonna show you how it's done. And if you're Windows users and you wanna just watch what I'm doing, then do your own thing, you're welcome to do that. I'm gonna drag this to the application. All right, and I'm gonna actually open this from my application, PostGre. There we go. I already had this installed, but I only installed this so that I can show you guys how to do this. So we have a connection here, as you can see. I already have one. I'm gonna show you my configurations. So typing Homestead, localhost, the username, right? These are what is in the files of my application, all right? So let me show you my application real quick. Let's go to the environment variables. This is what's here under here. Well, it's not here yet. Well, we have to configure this a little bit to make it work, but you can see that the database is Homestead, the user is Homestead, and the password is secret. So now we need to configure this here to make it work. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say I want this to work with Postgres PG and then SQL, and the DB host is going to be the same on this local version here. We're going to change that later when we go to Heroku. The port is going to be 5432, and I'm going to create a database, a different one. I'm going to name this Heroku app, and I just say d_db, right, just to make it different. Username, I'm going to leave it the same, Homestead, and secret. All right. So this is going to be our database, Heroku_db. That's fine. So let's log in here and let's connect. It's going to ask me for a password. I'm going to type in secret and we're going to enter. As you can see, we are here already. We have a couple migrations here. This is just me playing around before, but I'll show you. If we go to Homestead here, we're going to see that we have some databases here. All right, so we have a Postgres database, template 1, whatever. We have a Homestead database. If I click here, I can add a new database, and I'm going to copy this guy here. Well, actually, I can write it down. Let's not be that lazy, right? Heroku app _db. There we go. Enter. So we got this new database here. So now keep in mind that when we're doing migrations, we are using Homestead, and we go to terminal here, keep in mind that you need to be in your virtual environment, all right, in your Vagrant machine. So I'm gonna go to home, cd, this little tilde here. I'm gonna go to the home and then Homestead, and you should have a shortcut. I just don't have a shortcut in my alias. I don't have an alias just to run like VM up or something like that, you know? And that would make it a lot easier instead of doing what I'm doing now, going to the home directory, going to the Homestead, and then here saying Vagrant SSH. You can write a whole alias to do this for you in one line, which makes it really simple. So you see I'm logged in already to Homestead, right? So now I'm gonna go to my code folder, and this is the name of my app. And I'm gonna go to my app, and here I'm gonna type in PHP artisan migrate. Enter. Now it says it migrated it. So now if I go to this app database, you can see my migration right here. Pretty cool stuff, right? Pretty cool. All right. Another thing that we don't have actually yet is our login. Our authentication stuff, but we'll do that later. I just want to make sure that you guys are connected to the database, all right, locally. So make sure that you set this up for your local connection. Make sure that you're using Homestead. Make sure that you have your GUI or GUI, however you call it, installed. I am using PostGre. This is for Mac, but remember that there are other GUIs here that you can install. pgadmin should be your next option. I think they have a connection. I think that, originally this is for Windows. So you're welcome to install it. Go to download here and install it. Get connected. So that way you can see this database here. It's super simple to do this, guys. If I don't have a course on it, please look at the documentation. There are probably a whole bunch of other free videos out there, free tutorials that can allow you to connect to a GUI, so that way you can start using Postgres within Homestead and seeing your database stuff. So I'll see you in the next lecture.